The market on the planet Zelvana was full of color, voices, and machines, but Reed walked through it like a shadow. He was a human, tall, lean, and quiet, working far from Earth, fixing alien tech for coins that barely paid for food. He had seen many strange creatures in his years here, but nothing like her. She stood near a wall half in shadow. She didn't blink. She didn't speak. Her silver skin glowed under the twin suns, and her long dark hair moved in the dry wind like silk threads. She looked like a statue, but it was the eyes that held Reed's attention. Bright violet, glowing slightly, cold like a frozen star. Everyone else avoided her. Traders walked around her. Children whispered and ran past. Even the guards didn't go near. They called her Kailira. Rumors filled the streets. Some said she was born without a heart. Others said she had a core, an alien crystal, inside her that had been sealed since birth. The Zelvani believed emotions were dangerous, so when a child showed too much feeling, they locked her core. Now she was a tool, quiet, obedient, dangerous. Reed didn't believe the stories, but something about her felt sad. He set up his repair station nearby and began fixing a broken translator. But his eyes kept drifting to Kailira. She hadn't moved an inch. Suddenly she turned her head and looked straight at him. Reed froze. Her gaze was direct. Not curious, not kind, but not hostile either. It was as if she saw something in him. No one else could. He gave a small nod, unsure why. She blinked slowly, then turned away. The next day she stood there again. Same spot, same pose. Reed set up nearby again. He worked quietly, pretending not to notice her. But when he dropped a small tool and bent to pick it up, he saw Kailira was watching him, just for a second. Then her gaze snapped back to the crowd. The third day it rained. Not heavy water, but soft glowing drops the Zelvani called sky mist. Most traders packed up early. Reed stayed. So did Kailira. He approached her for the first time, carefully, holding a small, umbrella-like shield. "You're going to get soaked," he said gently. She didn't reply, didn't even flinch. Reed took another step. "I have a spare thermal blanket," he offered. Suddenly she spoke. "Don't follow me, human." Her voice was soft, sharp, and filled with something he didn't expect. Fear. Reed stopped. "All right," he said, and left the blanket on a nearby crate before walking away. That night, as he walked past the scrapyard behind the market, he saw something. Hidden under a broken ship wing was a small sleeping pod, rusty, old, patched together. Inside, curled up, was Kailira. No warmth, no light, just cold metal. The next morning, Reed arrived early. The blanket was gone, so was she, but she returned every day now. She came. Still didn't speak, still didn't smile. But Reed saw the change. Her eyes weren't as cold, her posture less stiff. She stood a little closer. Then, everything changed. On the seventh day, a group of alien thugs approached Kailira. 3 of them, strong, armed, looking angry. "She's council property," one said. "No one touches her. She's broken," another growled. "Let's return her for parts." They tried to grab her arms. Reed didn't think. He ran forward and shoved the closest one. "Back off." A fist hit his jaw. He fell, groaning. Another alien kicked him in the ribs. Blood touched his lip. Kailira just stood there, frozen. Then something in her eyes flickered. Not fear, but rage. A burst of violet light shot from her hands. The aliens were thrown back, screaming. Reed blinked, coughing, trying to sit up. Kailira stood over him, glowing. Her hands shook. Her lips trembled. Her chest heaved like she couldn't breathe. She looked alive. You used your core," Reed whispered. She knelt beside him. Her fingers, shaking, reached out and touched his bruised face. "I warned you not to follow me," she said, but her voice was different now. It wasn't cold. It was broken. Reed woke up with pain in his ribs and the taste of blood in his mouth. The small alien clinic smelled like herbs and metal. His head throbbed, but all he could think about was Kaylira. The girl with the sealed core, the one no one dared to touch, had saved him. Her hands had glowed. Her voice had cracked. For a moment, she had felt real. He sat up slowly and winced. His shirt was torn and his side was bandaged. A nurse bot floated over, scanned him, and beeped. Stable. Fracture on rib 3. Muscle bruising. No internal bleeding. Thanks, Reed muttered. But he wasn't listening. His eyes moved across the room until he saw her. Kaylira. She stood near the door, arms crossed, leaning against the wall. Her violet eyes watched him carefully. She looked calm, but her fingers were curled tightly. She wasn't used to standing in places like this, not near people, not near him. You're awake, she said. You stayed, Reed whispered. I shouldn't have, she replied. He slowly swung his legs over the bed. Why did you? She didn't answer right away. Then in a quiet voice, because I caused it. Reed raised an eyebrow. You didn't call those thugs. But I let. You get close, she said. Her eyes dropped to the floor. No one gets close, I made a mistake, Reed chuckled. It hurt his ribs, but he couldn't help it. Saving me was a mistake? Kaylira turned her head sharply. You don't understand. I wasn't supposed to feel anything. My core is locked, sealed when I was a child. That's why the council lets me live among people. They thought I would safe. But you're not, Reed said softly. She looked back at him, eyes narrowing. No, I'm not. And now they know. He stood up slowly, holding the wall. So what happens now? She looked away. They'll come for me. They'll either seal me again fully or they'll erase me. Erase? Reed asked, frowning. Like, delete you? She nodded. Emotion that breaks the seal is unstable. They think I'm a danger. Reed moved toward her. That's not fair. Kaylira backed up. Stop, don't come closer. I'm not afraid of you, he said. You should be, she snapped, louder than before. A light pulse of energy flared from her chest. The clinic lights flickered. Tools on the tray rattled. Reed didn't move. I've seen what you are, and I still came here. She trembled, jaw tight. Don't follow me, human. He looked at her with sad eyes. You already saved me once. Let me return the favor. Kaylira stared at him for a long time. Then she turned and walked out. Later that night, Reed couldn't sleep. The city above was glowing with its usual blue lights, but his thoughts were restless. He knew she would try to disappear again like smoke in the wind. He grabbed his old coat and stepped into the streets. He searched where she had hidden before, junkyards, old tunnels, back alleys. Nothing. Then he remembered the rusted sleeping pod in the scrapyard. He returned. The pod was open. Inside, Kaylira sat cross-legged, eyes closed, her hands glowing dimly, as if trying to calm the storm inside her. He didn't say anything. She opened her eyes. I told you not to follow me, she whispered. I know, he said, but I've always been bad at listening. She looked away. I'm dangerous, Reed. I've seen worse, he said, but I've never seen someone who looked so alone. Her voice cracked. I was born alone. My mother tried to help me, but the council said I was wrong, too emotional. They said the core would crack, so they locked it. That's cruel, he said. It saved others, she replied. It didn't save you, he said. Kaylira blinked, and something in her chest flickered. Her hand moved slowly to a pocket in her tattered robe. She pulled out a small crystal sphere. What's that? Reed asked. A memory stone, she said. My mother gave it to me before they took her away. What's inside? I don't know, Kaylira whispered. I never had the courage to play it. Reed slowly sat beside the pod, keeping a respectful distance. Want me to stay while you do? She looked at him for a long moment. Then, she nodded. The sphere glowed. A voice filled the air. A soft, loving voice. Kalara, my light. If you're hearing this, it means they locked you, but your heart is still yours. One day someone will reach you. One day you'll feel again. And when that day comes, don't be afraid. You are not a weapon. You are my daughter. Kalira's hands trembled. Her eyes filled with tears. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Reed placed a hand near hers, not touching, just close enough to say, I'm here. For a moment, her glow turned warm. The next morning, the city of Zelvana felt heavier. Guards moved in strange patterns. Watch drones scanned more faces than usual. Rumors spread in the market like wildfire. She awakened. Her core flickered. The human is with her. Inside, the scrapyard, hidden beneath rusted engines and broken ship parts, Kalira sat silent beside Reed. Her violet eyes no longer glowed cold. They shimmered, soft and full of something unfamiliar. She had cried last night. The memory of her mother's voice had touched something deep, something long buried. And now, her core was unstable. You didn't sleep, Reed said gently, watching. Her Kalira shook her head. I didn't need to. My body doesn't get tired like yours. But your mind? He asked. Your heart? She looked at him confused. It feels full. That's called being human. Reed smiled. I'm not human, she whispered. You felt something. You cried. Reed said. You're more human than half the people I know. Kalira's lips parted like she might speak. But then she gasped. Her chest glowed suddenly, bright, sharp, and pulsing like a heartbeat. She clutched at her ribs. Kalira. Reed moved closer. What's happening? My core, she hissed. It's trying to open more, but it's not stable. I don't know how to stop it. Let it open, Reed said without thinking. She stared at him in horror. If it breaks too fast, I could destroy this whole district. My emotions control the energy inside. That's why they sealed me. Reed reached out, slowly taking her shaking hands. Then let's do it slowly. Together. Her hands were cold, but not lifeless. Not anymore. They sat quietly. Reed told her how to breathe slow, how to focus on something small. He told her about Earth's quiet forests, about old books and warm drinks. Kalira listened. Her eyes fluttered. Her breathing steadied. The glow dimmed. You're good at calming storms, she said softly. I've lived through a few of my own, he replied with a smile. Then something unexpected happened. She laughed. Just a short, breathy sound, but the ground beneath them shook. Pipes cracked. Lights flickered in the nearby towers. A hover cart exploded in the distance. Kalira's hands flew to her mouth. No, I didn't mean to. I was just, you laughed, Reed said, awestruck. I shouldn't have, she snapped, but you did. He stepped forward. You felt joy. She backed away, shaking. No, you don't understand. Each emotion I unlock gives the core more control over my body, more power. If I keep going, if I feel too much, I won't be Kalira anymore. I'll become the thing they locked away. What thing? Reed asked. Kalira looked into his eyes. A living weapon. That night, a message came. A small hover drone found them in the scrapyard. It projected the face of a council enforcer, his voice hard and cold. Kalira of the sealed core, you are to surrender immediately. Your energy pattern has crossed the safe limit. Further delay will lead to termination. The drone paused, then added, Bring the human with you. He will be questioned for assisting an unstable entity. Reed growled. Questioned. That means tortured. Kalira clenched her fists. I won't let them hurt you. Reed looked at her. And Won't let them erase who you are becoming. Kalira hesitated, then took a deep breath. There's a place, she said slowly, beneath the old city. A place the council forgot. What's there? A chamber, she replied, voice distant. It's called the core mirror. They say if someone enters it and faces their full self, the core either opens completely or breaks forever. Reed's voice dropped. Is that what you want to do? Kalira looked toward the twin moons. I want to know who I really am, she whispered. Before they make that choice for me. They traveled through ancient tunnels that hadn't seen light in years. Vines grew through stone. Broken machines littered the paths. Strange glowing insects buzzed in silence. Kalira led the way. Her glow now gentle, pulsing in rhythm with her breath. Reed followed, bruised but determined. At last they found it, the core mirror chamber, a dome of black crystal, humming with forgotten energy. In the center stood a platform surrounded by silent orbs. Kalira stepped forward. Reed grabbed her hand. Wait, he said. Are you sure? She nodded. I'm afraid, Reed, but I want to feel, even if it hurts. He didn't let go. Then I'm staying with you. Kalira smiled, only slightly, but it lit the room brighter than the crystals. She stepped onto the platform. The chamber pulsed. Her body lifted into the air. Violet light wrapped around her. And then, a whisper filled the air. Emotion detected. Hope, Kalira gasped. For the first time in her life, her core cracked open, and she didn't break. Kalira stood in the middle of the glowing chamber, eyes closed, floating a few inches above the crystal floor. Her body pulsed gently with violet light. The room was quiet, holding its breath. She wasn't a weapon. Not anymore. Reed watched from the edge, his heart pounding. He didn't know what would happen next. He had come here with a wounded body, but now, watching Kalira shine, his heart felt heavier than any pain. Then the light dimmed. Kalira's feet touched the ground. Her body lowered slowly, and she opened her eyes. She looked at Reed, and she smiled. It was a real smile, not cold, not forced, just real. I didn't break, she whispered. Reed stepped forward. You did more than survive. Kalira turned to look around the chamber. This place is old. Older than the city above. I felt its energy. It responded to me. That means something, Reed said. Something big. Kalira's face grew serious again. But someone else felt it too. Just then, the ground shook. A deep hum echoed from the walls. The sound of engines, machines. A voice blared from above. This is the Council Enforcer Unit. You are surrounded. Step out now. Kalira's eyes widened. They found us. Above ground, council ships hovered in the sky. Black and silver, shaped like knives, silent but deadly. Enforcer soldiers dropped from the air, their armor glowing with red lines. Their faces were hidden. Their orders were clear. Contain the girl, seize the human. Inside the tunnels, Kalira moved quickly. She grabbed Reed's arm. We have to leave. There's a passage behind the chamber. It leads into the old ventilation systems. They won't find it easily. Reed nodded, but he could see it in her face. She was worried. As they ran, distant booms echoed behind them. The soldiers were breaking in. Drones buzzed in the air, scanning heat signals, scanning energy levels. Kalira's energy would light up like a beacon. We can't outrun them forever, Reed said as they climbed a ladder into the maintenance tunnels. We need help. There's no one, she said. I was never allowed to have allies. No friends, no family, just watchers. Reed stopped. Then it's time to make new ones. He pulled out a small comm link from his pocket. It was old tech, human make, but it still worked. What are you doing? She asked. I have a few old contacts in the Undercity, Reed said. People who don't like the council either. If we're going to fight back, we need to give them a reason to care. He pressed a button and spoke. This is Reed, ex-engineer, Station 47X. If anyone's listening, I've got something the Council is hunting, but it's not a weapon. She's a person. She's waking up, and they're afraid. Static. Then, a voice. Reed? You crazy old wrench turner. Is this about that sealed core girl? Yeah, Reed said. And she's not what they say. I need a way out. Or backup. A pause. All right. Sending you a path code. Tunnel B9. You've got 10 minutes before I shut the gate. Kalira followed him through twisting tunnels deeper than she had ever gone. Her glow was dim now, controlled, but her heart beat fast. Why are you doing this? She asked softly. Reed didn't stop running. Because when I looked at you, I didn't see a threat. I saw someone who was locked away for being alive. That's not justice, that's fear. She lowered her head. Most would still run from me. I'm not most. They reached the tunnel gate just as it began to close. A rusty panel slid open and a face appeared. A gruff human woman with oil-streaked goggles. Reed, you look like trash. Good. To see you too, Juna. The woman looked at Kalira, her eyes narrowing. So, this is her? Kalira stepped back, uncertain. She saved my life, Reed said. Twice. Juna whistled. Well then, guess we owe her. Come in. Inside the rebel base, an old train station turned underground shelter. Dozens of faces turned toward Kalira. Some afraid, some curious. She's one of them, someone whispered. She's glowing, another muttered. But then Kalira stepped forward. Her voice was soft but strong. I was locked since childhood, sealed away so I could never feel, never cry, never love. The Council made me into a shell. But this human, she looked at Reed. He showed me a different way. She raised her hand, glowing with gentle violet light. I am not your enemy, but the Council will hunt anyone who dares to feel free. A silence filled the room. Then someone clapped, then another. Soon the base echoed with applause. Juna smiled. You've got guts, girl. Reed leaned closer to Kalira. They're with us now. Kalira looked around. For the first time in her life, she wasn't alone. The underground base was noisy, but not with chaos. It was busy with hope. Old screens lit up. Maps flickered with paths and danger zones. Humans and aliens moved through the halls, whispering plans. For the first time, Kalira walked through a crowd that didn't look at her with fear, but with belief. And yet inside her chest, the core was still glowing, unstable, alive, waiting. She sat alone in a quiet room lit only by a small, flickering bulb. Her eyes stared at her hands. They shimmered softly with violet light. Not violent, not wild, but ready. Ready for something more. Reed entered quietly, holding 2 steaming cups. Tea, he said. Don't ask what kind. Juna brewed it in, an engine part. Kalira gave a weak smile and accepted the cup. It smelled strange. That's normal, he chuckled, sitting beside her. They sat in silence. After a while, she asked, What happens if I lose control again? Reed looked at her gently. Then we help you find it again. Kalira shook her head. You don't understand. Each emotion I unlock, it makes the core react stronger. Yesterday, when I smiled, 3 lights exploded in the tunnel. If I laugh, if I cry too deeply, I could kill someone without meaning to. But you didn't, he said. You felt those things, and no one died. Yet, she whispered. Reed placed a hand gently on hers. Then let's learn together. Kalira looked at his hand, warm and human, then nodded. For the next few days, they trained. Reed helped Kalira learn simple breathing patterns. They played memory games, joked, and even danced in silence under the soft hum of old lights. She learned to breathe through panic, to close her eyes when too much light burst from her palms. But feelings were rising fast. One night, Kalira dreamed. In the dream, her mother reached for her, smiling. But just as their hands touched, the dream shattered, and flames poured out of Kalira's body. Her mother screamed. Everything turned to ash. Kalira woke up screaming, her eyes wide, her chest glowing, blinding bright. The room trembled. Metal walls groaned. Sparks flew from wires. Reed rushed in and found her on the floor, curled up, shaking. Kalira. She looked at him, eyes full of panic. I dreamed I killed her, my mother. She screamed. She burned. Reed, I'm losing it. He knelt beside her, pulled her close, even as heat burned his skin. You didn't hurt anyone. It was a dream. But it's coming, Reed, she sobbed. It's like something inside me is waking up, and I don't know what it wants. Then we hold it back together, he said. Juna walked in later with scans. You weren't wrong, she said grimly. Your energy levels doubled last night. The scanners thought a power core was melting. Kalira looked away, ashamed. But, Juna added, no one died. That counts for something. I don't want to be feared anymore, Kalira whispered. Then stop trying to suppress everything, Juna said. Control doesn't mean shutting it off. It means guiding it. Kalira blinked. How? Juna grinned. Reed's not the only one who's seen broken machines rebuilt. The next day, the training changed. Juna built her a small core regulator, a thin ring of alien metal that sat against her chest. It didn't block emotions. It simply sensed the peak moments and gave soft feedback. A pulse, a tone, a light. Kalira learned how to feel without bursting. She meditated while listening to old music. She remembered her mother's lullabies. She watched children play in the tunnels. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes she smiled. Sometimes she held Reed's hand and didn't speak at all. And each time, the light from her core glowed warm, not wild. One evening, after a full day of training, Kalira stood alone on a platform overlooking the city tunnels. She raised her hand slowly. A soft light hovered above her palm. She breathed in and let herself feel the memory of pain, of fear, of joy, of kindness, of being seen. The light shifted colors, blue for sorrow, gold for hope, green for peace. Then, without warning, a blinding red beam shot across the sky. Alarms blared through. The base. Reed ran toward her. What happened? She turned, confused. It wasn't me. Juna's voice crackled through the intercom. Council ships, 3 of them. They're descending fast. They found us. Kalira's heart dropped. I thought we had more time. Reed looked at her, calm and strong. They're coming for your power, but they have no idea what it's become. Kalira stood tall. I'm not running anymore. The sky above the ruins turned dark as 3 council ships descended like silver daggers. Their engines hummed with power, vibrating through the stone walls of the underground base. Sirens echoed through the tunnels. Everyone ran to prepare. Reed helped load supply crates into emergency transports. Children were ushered into hidden chambers. Fighters took their places, but one person stood completely still. Kalira. She was standing on the edge of the main platform, her glowing eyes locked on the map screen. A red dot pulsed where the council forces landed. She wasn't shaking. She wasn't afraid. I knew they'd come, she whispered. Reed walked up behind her. Then we'll stop them. Kalira looked down. We can't fight all 3 ships. They didn't come to destroy the base. They came for me. You're not theirs to take, Reed said. Kalira's hand touched her chest. The core inside was no longer just unstable. It was becoming something new. A fusion of her mind and heart, emotion and control. But it was still unfinished. Still dangerous. There's only one place where I can finish this, she said. The true core chamber. Beneath the old mountain. Reed frowned. That place is forbidden. It's ancient, she said. Even the council fears it. But the legends say it can unlock or destroy any living core. I have to go there. You'll die, Reed warned. Kalira looked at him, her voice low but steady. If I don't, we all might. Juna tried to argue. There's no proof that chamber even works anymore. It's just a story passed down by old rebels. Kalira shook her head. I felt its echo when I opened my core the first time. It's real. And it's calling me. Reed stood beside her. Then I'm going too. Kalira's eyes widened. No, if something goes wrong, I don't care, he interrupted. You didn't let me die when I was bleeding in the street. I'm not leaving you now. She stared at him uncertain, then nodded. Together, they left the base through an old mining route. The tunnels narrowed, grew darker, the air colder. They traveled in silence until they reached a wide stone door carved with strange alien symbols. It pulsed faintly. Kalira stepped forward. Her core glowed in response. The door opened. The chamber was massive. A circular space filled with ancient machines and glowing crystals. In the center stood a floating stone platform, the heart platform. Kalira walked toward it slowly, symbols lit up under her feet. A voice echoed, low, ancient, female. Core bearer, identity confirmed. Prepare for soul merging. What does that mean? Reed asked. Kalira whispered. It will merge my core completely, with all emotion, all power, all memory. Reed looked scared. And if it's too much? I vanish, she said. Reed's heart sank, but she turned to him, her face calm. Reed, if I don't come back, I want you to know something. Don't say goodbye. She smiled softly. Then I'll say thank you. Kalira stepped onto the platform. Lights burst from the ceiling, scanning her. The chamber shook as power returned to systems untouched for centuries. A beam of white light shot into her chest. She screamed. Her body lifted into the air. Her eyes turned white. Inside her mind, Kalira stood in a void. Voices surrounded her. Her mother's voice. Her younger self. The council. Reed. And the core, the energy inside her, spoke too. Do you accept all emotions? Even rage? Even sorrow? Yes, she answered. Do you accept your own pain? Yes. Do you accept love? Kalira gasped. I don't know how. Then she heard Reed's voice. You already do. A memory filled her mind. Reed holding her hand in the junkyard. Reed smiling after she cried. Reed standing beside her even when she screamed. Her heart thudded. Yes, she whispered. Then merge begins. Back in the chamber, Reed watched as Kalira's body trembled in the air. Her veins glowed. Her skin shimmered like crystal. Her voice called out, not in words, but in feeling. Suddenly, the chamber darkened. A blast of energy erupted outward. Reed was thrown back, but not harmed. And then, silence. Smoke drifted in the air. Kalira dropped to her knees on the stone platform. Her body was glowing, but gently now. Her eyes opened, and she looked at Reed. Reed? He ran to her. You're here, he said, holding her. She nodded weakly. I felt everything, all of it. I thought it would crush me, but it didn't. Reed held her close. You didn't just survive, he whispered. You became whole. She placed her hand on his heart. And part of that is you. But they had little time. An explosion above shook the chamber. The council had found the entrance. Kalira stood up, stronger than before. Her eyes glowed. Not with rage, but with purpose. Let them come, she said. Reed stood beside her. You're ready. The stone walls of the ancient chamber trembled as explosions echoed from the tunnels above. Dust fell from the ceiling. A red glow spread across the entrance. The council had arrived. Reed helped Kalira to her feet. Her body was glowing softly. Now, not out of control, not unstable. It was warm, steady. She looked peaceful, but her expression was sharp. They're coming for me, she said. Reed nodded. Let them come. You're not the same girl they hunted. She turned to him, her voice calm but full of emotion. If they see what I've become, they'll try to erase me. Then show them they can't, he said, stepping beside her. Moments later, the door burst open. 6 armored enforcers rushed in, weapons raised. Behind them, a tall council commander in black robes entered, eyes locked on Kalira. He spoke, with disgust. You've opened your core, you've broken every seal, you are no longer under control. Kalira stood tall. I was never yours to control. Then you are a threat. He raised a hand to order her execution. But before the enforcers could fire, Kalira moved, not with rage, not with panic, with grace. She raised her palm, and a wave of energy flowed. Out, not to destroy, but to push back. The weapons froze mid-air. The guards dropped them, hands shaking. Their armor flickered. Sparks danced around their boots. I am not a weapon, Kalira said, stepping forward. I feel now. I understand pain. I understand joy. And I choose peace. The commander's voice cracked. Peace is weakness. Kalira's eyes narrowed. No. Peace is strength. When you have the power to crush, but choose not to, he reached for a hidden blade. Then you leave me no choice. But as he lunged, Reed stepped in front of Kalira. No, she shouted. The blade struck but never landed. A shimmering shield burst from her body, stopping it in midair. The energy cracked the blade and sent the commander flying backward. He hit the wall hard, unmoving. The chamber fell silent. The soldiers stared at Kalira, not in fear now, but awe. She turned to Reed, her hands shaking. You didn't have to do that. I always will, he said, gripping her hand. You saved me once. I'll spend the rest of my life returning that. Her voice cracked, soft as a whisper. I don't want to lose you. He smiled. Then don't. Hours passed. The council soldiers surrendered. Word spread through the base. The girl with the sealed core was no longer dangerous. She was free. The rebels came out of hiding. Some knelt before Kalira. Others just smiled at her, touched her arm gently, said her name like it mattered now. Juna arrived last, goggles hanging from her neck. Well, she said, arms crossed. I've seen plasma storms, collapsing moons, and once even a talking fungus, but I've never seen a girl glow like that. Kalira blushed lightly. I didn't mean to scare anyone. You didn't, Juna said. You inspired them. Reed stood beside her, bruised but smiling. So what now? Kalira looked around the chamber. For the first time, I don't know, she said. I'm not someone's weapon. I'm not a sealed girl. I'm just me. Reed stepped closer. Then maybe it's time to discover who you really are. She tilted her head, curious. With you? With me, he said without hesitation. She reached out, took his hand. Then I'd like that. Weeks later, the base was rebuilt. The council withdrew, forced to stand down by fear of rebellion. Kalira's story spread across the cities, not as a threat, but as a symbol. She began to teach others like her, those locked away, those abandoned for being different. She showed them how to breathe, how to feel, how to grow. Reed stood by, her side every day, sometimes just holding her hand, sometimes just watching her smile. And every night before sleep, Kalira would press her head gently against his chest. Why do you do that? He once asked. She answered softly, because your heart beats freely, it reminds me, mine can too.